Hello student, welcome to my class. Today I am going to take class 9 political science and the name of the chapter is constitutional design. So in this chapter we are basically going to study about the constitution and its importance, and we are going to see how the constitution was formed in South Africa and how the constitution was formed in India and what were the problems South Africa and India faced when they formed the constitution of their respective country. So because constitution is very important, it contains all the rules and regulation of the country, the power, the rights and everything of that country. So let us see what is constitution and why it is important and how the constitution was designed in different country. So let's proceed. So first of all, we are going to see how the constitution was designed in South Africa. So before starting the constitution of South Africa, let's understand one term which is very important to understand the history of South Africa, and that is apartheid. So what is apartheid? It is racial discrimination. Racial discrimination is the discrimination on the basis of color of skin. When you discriminate on the basis of the color of the skin, when you discriminate between the black color skin people and the white color skin people, it is called racial discrimination. So apartheid is actually racial discrimination, which along with this racial discrimination of black and white, it also include the segregation policy. Segregation policy means not allowing somebody to in some place, means keeping them separately. Segregation policy along with the economic and political discrimination. You not only allow them to remain separate and don't enter into your zone because you consider that those people as inferior, you are discriminating them on the basis of their skin, and also following the segregation policy, that means keeping them separately and not allowing them to enter in your area, and you are also doing the economic and political discrimination to them. On the basis of economics, you are not giving them job or any economic benefit to them. You are not giving them political rights to vote, to form the government. So you are doing the economic and political discrimination to them also, and you are doing segregation policy. You are following the segregation policy with them. You are making racial discrimination with them, and this was actually done by the European people to the non-European people, because European people were white in color and non-Europeans were actually black in their skin. And so this European in South Africa used to discriminate with the non-European people in South Africa, and that is what used to call as apartheid. So this black people in South Africa were forced to live in the apartheid region, where there was so much of discrimination with them, and how this black people used to suffer in this region, in this apartheid region, we will see one by one. So these black people were not allowed to enter into the area where the white people used to live. They cannot enter, they cannot live in that place, they cannot enter into that place. Even sometimes there was order to shoot the black people if they try to enter the area of white people. They used to have so much of segregation policy that they used to have different transport for both. The white people used to have the different transportation system, and the black people used to have the different transportation system. They used to have different school, different hospital, different park. Even the toilets and beaches of the sea were different for black and white. And even this segregation was followed in the church. In the God's place also this segregation policy was followed. They used to have the separate churches for worship also. The black people used to go to another church and this white people used to go to another church. And to all this discrimination which was given to this black people, all this segregation policy which was given to this black people, for all this discrimination, they cannot form any organization, they cannot protest. There was no right for them to protest or to form the organization against it. And even if some black people used to dare to form the organization or dare to protest against all this discrimination, they were punished brutally. They were sent to the jail, or they were shot down, or they were killed brutally by the white people. And one such man who suffered this segregation policy, this discrimination policy, was Nelson Mandela. He was sent to the jail for protesting against it. And then at the end, when the South Africa got independence, this man only became the head of South Africa. So because so much of segregation, discrimination policy was followed to the black, so the black was very unhappy, and they formed an organization, that is ANC, African National Congress. And they protested against it. Like in India, to protest against British, we formed Indian National Congress, INC. Same way in Africa, they formed African National Congress to protest against these white people who were discriminating them. And even some white people were sensitive, and they did not like the segregation which was done to the black people, and they supported them, and they joined their organization, and they fought along with the black people against this injustice. So they fought for many years, and at the end the white had to go down. The white got defeated, and finally the South Africa got its independence. And after they got their independence, they wrote the constitution of their country, and they established the democratic country for themselves. So when they got independence, when they wanted to establish the democratic country and they were writing the constitution, they faced many problems while writing the constitution. So let us discuss what are the problems they faced while writing their constitution. So now those who exploited the black people and those who got exploited, so one who exploited them and one who got exploitation, both have to live together. Means the black people got exploited and the white people exploited them. So now the one who exploited and the one who got exploitation, both have to live together in a single place. And now there was so much of trust issue between black and white. Black people did not trusted white people, and white people did not trusted the black people. White people were scared that this black people will take revenge because we exploited them. So now when they got independence, they will form the group and they will take revenge from us. And the black people were also scared that this white people will again play some tricks and they will again come to the power and they will start controlling us once again. So both had fear. Both had the trust issue with each other. The third problem was that these black people wanted majority rule. They wanted that party to rule the country which get the majority vote. And because the black people were only in majority in the South Africa, so there was mostly chances of the black people only coming to the power in South Africa. So these people wanted majority rule and they don't wanted any discrimination in the future. They wanted complete equality to be established. Whereas this white people, they were scared that their rights will be taken away, their property will be taken away, their privileges will be taken away. So they don't wanted their property to be touched, they don't wanted their privileges to be taken away. So such was the situation of South Africa. In such situation, when the demands of black and white are so contradictory to each other, if you listen to the blacks' demand and establish no discrimination, then this white privileges will be taken away. And if you respect the white people's privileges, then you cannot establish the equality. So they both were demanding the contradictory things. And such was the situation in South Africa, and in such situation they have to write the constitution, and that was the big problem and big challenge for the South African people. But still They took the challenge, they wrote the constitution, and in the preamble of the African constitution, they wrote many things which we will discuss now. So what is preamble? It is basically the first paragraph, the introductory paragraph of the constitution, which tell you about the constitution, which give direction about what the constitution is. So in that constitution, in the African constitution, they have written that for the 2 years, 2 continuous years, they sat together, the black and the white sat together, they talked to each other, they discussed with each other, and they sometimes even fought with each other. But at the end, with all this discussion, with all this talk, they finally wrote a constitution which was a very good constitution. And in this constitution, they gave the basic citizen right and equality to each and every one. And in this constitution which they have prepared, while preparing this constitution, they gave chances to everyone to speak. Everyone was heard, irrespective of his past, whether he did good thing in the past or the bad thing in the past. If he want to speak, he was allowed to speak. He was heard during the formation of constitution, and after listening to each and every member and each and every person, then they finally prepared a constitution with a conclusion, and this constitution which they finally prepared was accepted by each and every one. And what happened in the South Africa at the end? These black people finally forgiven the white people. They forgot all their injustice and exploitation of the past, and they promised to live happily, and then they started living happily after this constitution. So this is the story of constitution of South Africa. Now let us discuss why this constitution is prepared. Why the constitution is important? Because constitution is the rule book of the country. In this, all the rules and regulation of the country is written, which is needed to be write down so that you can avoid the confusion in the future. And this constitution also bring trust among each other. When something is written on the paper, you get trust on those rules and regulation, right? So you get trust that, okay, your culture is preserved, your diversity will be preserved, you will not get exploited, nothing will wrong happen because these rules are written on the paper. So this bring trust among the citizen. And constitution also tells you that how the government of your country will form, what are the power they will exercise, on what subject they can make decision. So each and every things about the government is written on the constitution itself. Constitution also tell you what are your rights, what are your power, what are your duties. Constitution also tell what are the limitations of the government, what the government can do and what the government cannot do. So every right, every power, every limitations are written in the constitution, which is important for us to know. And constitution also guide us to become a better citizen, to make a better society, to make a better country, to make a better government. So constitution is actually the soul of any country, and it establishes a democratic country in a better way. And you know, every democratic country in the world used to have one constitution. It is must for every democratic country to have the constitution. It is important for democratic country to have the constitution, but it is not every democratic country do have a constitution, but it does not mean that if you have a constitution, it means that you are a democratic country. So democratic country do have the constitution, but every country having constitution is not necessary that it is a democratic country only. So now let us see how the constitution was designed in India. So when we were writing the constitution, it is also a big good history which we will discuss. And you know the India is the largest democratic country in the world because it is the country which have large number of population with the democratic country. And we have written the constitution which is actually the longest constitution of the world. And we also faced many problems while writing the constitution, and those problems were the problem which India faced while writing the constitution was India has to write one constitution for the country which have so much of diversity, so much of different culture, different history. Alright, so if you see the India properly, you will realize that in India we have so much of diversity. In short, you can say that there are small many country within a country. We have many small country in India. Like if you see the culture of Punjabis and if you see the culture of Bengalis, they are completely different. If you see the customs of Tamilian, if you see the custom of northeastern state, if you see the custom of Jammu and Kashmir people, they are completely different. It look like we have so many small country in a same country. So we have such a big diversity, and to write one constitution for a country which have so much of diversity was a big challenge for the constitution maker of that time. And also when we were writing our constitution, that time only India got partition. And during the partition there was so much of riots in the country. There was so much insecurity in our country. There was so much of peace crisis in our country. 10 lakhs people lost their life during those times. So at the time of such a peace crisis, at the time of such a instability in the country, we have to write a constitution with which we can establish the peace and security and stability in the country, and that was a big challenge for the constitution maker. And also when we got independence, British gave permission to every place that you can join India or you can join Pakistan or you can form your own independent nation. The British told this and they went away. At that time, to form a big country, to request each and every princely state to join India and to form a big country was a big challenge. We have to write a constitution in which every princely state feels secure and they feel that okay, by joining India we can preserve our rights in the future also. So we have to give security to each and every state at that time while writing the constitution. And then we have to establish equality in the country at that time, which was full of social inequality. We have to establish equality through our constitution, and our society was actually full of inequality in the country. There was so much of inequality in the society that there was an inequality between two religions. There was inequality between caste. Upper caste used to consider lower caste as unequal. The man used to consider women unequal. There was inequality between man and women. There was inequality in the caste. There was inequality in the religion. There was inequality between rich and poor, between educated and uneducated. So when there was so much of inequality in the society, at that time we were asked to write a constitution which can establish equality in the country. And our constitution maker was extremely scared that if we write anything, it may affect our peace and security. And so they were very scared while writing the constitution, that they were scared that this constitution will be accepted peacefully or will not be accepted peacefully. So that this all were the condition, this all were the problem which constitution makers were facing while writing Indian constitution. But if you see our constitution today, you will feel proud because we wrote the best constitution of the world, and there is no major issue arose after our writing the constitution. No one questioned our constitution till date. And when we wrote our constitution, this responsibility of writing constitution was given to the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was the consisting of members of 299 members were there in this Constituent Assembly, and they were given the responsibility to write the Constitution of India. And this Constituent Assembly was indirectly elected by the people, not directly but indirectly elected by the people. And there were so many peoples were member of different fields were member of this Constituent Assembly. About their member, some introduction is given in your books also. Like we had the members of like Sarojini Naidu and Rajendra Prasad, Bhimrao Ambedkar, and so many such people. And you can have the I recommend you to go through their introduction once, there are so many members of Constituent Assembly which are discussed in your book, and their introduction is given, when they were born and what post they used to hold and what contribution they gave. So you can go through those introduction of these members in the books also. But anyway, these 299 members wrote the constitution of our country, and they presented this constitution on 26 November 1949, but legally it was adopted by India in 26 January 1950. So this is the story of our writing the constitution. So we prepared the best constitution of the world, and how we were able to produce such a big and good constitution for India. Let us see how the formation of Indian constitution was done. So we were able to write such a good constitution of India because our constitution makers knew that what they wanted to write. They had all the experience. They knew why we struggle so much while struggling for India, for India's independence. We know for what we are struggling. We know we were struggling so much for the independence, for the freedom, for the equality, for the justice. We were fighting from such a long time, right? So we knew at the time of writing the constitution that what are the basic principles we wanted to have in our constitution. And also the Congress which fought for our independence, in 1928, this Congress leader wrote a dummy constitution for us. They wrote a basic constitution for us which was not implemented at that time, but they wrote some constitution that if we get independence we will have these things in our constitution. So once they had the experience of writing the constitution, and in that constitution they wrote what are the things they want. They wanted adult franchise and the equality, freedom and various other rights. So all this experience they had in the past. They knew what they wanted. They once wrote the constitution in the past. And also during the British rule, the British gave political rights to some people during 1935 Act. Alright, so they had some basic political right in the past also. They enjoyed this some basic political right in the past also. Not all Indians, but some Indians. So some Indians had the political experience in the past. So they used this political experience to write a better constitution for India and to prepare a better political system for India. So they used that experience also. And while writing our constitution, British, though we fought against British, but while writing our constitution, we also referred the British constitution. And we adopted some good points from the British constitution also, like 1935 Act. Okay. And then we refer to the constitution of the different countries also. We referred to constitutions of many countries and we adopted all the good points from those constitution, and we included those good points in our constitution also. So in this way we wrote a good constitution, and now the question arises. Okay, we wrote a good constitution at that time, but that time was long back. Why should we accept this constitution today? The time has changed and that constitution was written long back. That time the situation was of writing letters with the pen and sending it to other people. We used to write letter at those ages when the constitution was written, and now it is the age of email system. Now if you have to give some message to other, you send email and not writing the letters like the past. So the time has changed so much. There is so much of generation gap, that there is a generation gap between the children and the parents. So when there is so much of generation gap, when the time has changed so much, it has changed from writing letter to the email system, then why should we accept the constitution which was written long back? So the answer for this, that we should accept this constitution, because when we wrote this constitution, we took the opinion of each and every person from different background. In our Constituent Assembly, people from different backgrounds were asked to participate in the Constituent Assembly to discuss each and everything, and everybody's need was considered while writing the constitution. And no one questioned our constitution till date. No major issue arose from our constitution till date. Nobody asked to change the constitution completely till date. If you compare the constitution of other country, in every 5 to 6 years they write new constitution. because they are so unsatisfied with their constitution. But in India, we can proudly say it is our achievement that we wrote such a constitution which was never asked by everyone to change it completely. All right, and there was lot of discussion which went through. We discussed a lot while writing our constitution. We did not discuss for 1-2 days or 1-2 months. We discussed for 3 years. All right, and all those discussion details, what are the things we discussed, is written in 12 fat books. Everything we discussed while writing the constitution, why we took such decision after discussion, we wrote in that 12 fat books. It is still available. If anybody is interested, can read those 12 fat books in which all the discussion about our constitution is written and why we make such constitution and decision. So that's why our constitution cannot be questioned. And now let us see the Gandhiji's view in constitution, because Gandhiji was a great leader of India who helped us to get our freedom. So what he used to think about the constitution, we will discuss in this topic, in this slide now. When the Gandhiji was not there in the Constituent Assembly. He did not participated in writing the constitution, but when he was asked to express his opinion about the constitution, he do express his opinion. He expressed his opinion in Young India magazine in 1931, and he told that he wants such constitution where there is no foreign rule. Means we should write a constitution which will stop the rule of foreign in the future. No foreign rule can happen in the future. Our constitution should have such provision. He also asked that constitution is one which should establish equality, which allow people to live peacefully, where there is no untouchability problem, and which establish the gender equality and rights. Gender equality means no discrimination between man and women, and it give rights to each and every one. So this was the view of Gandhiji on constitution. Now we will discuss what is preamble and why it is important. So what is preamble? It is actually the introductory paragraph of your constitution. It is mostly written in the poem form, and it gives you the guidelines of your countries. It tell you about the moral values of your country. It tell you about the philosophy of your countries and on what your constitution is based, on what your country's principles are based. And it also gives the standards and direction to the government, and it guide the government to become a good government. And we can judge the government from the preamble itself, whether the government is following this principle or not. If the government is following this principle, then it is of course a good government. Otherwise, it is not a good government. So basically, we can say that preamble is nothing but the soul of any country. So preamble is actually the soul of constitution. So our constitution has used if you will read the preamble of our constitution, which I will show you just now, but if you read the preamble of your constitution, there are many words used in your preamble, like they use the word like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So all these words are used in the preamble, and when you see all these words, you will understand many things about your country. So these words are very important and their meaning is given in your book. I recommend you to go through the definition of all these words, because this definition can be asked in your exams. So what is the preamble of our Indian constitution? If you will see, it is also written, given in your book. You can go through the preamble of our constitution once. This paragraph you can read from your book. So this paragraph actually start with "We the people of India." Alright, and there are so many important words which are highlighted in your preamble, like sovereignty, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So all these are the key words used in your constitution's preamble. So this preamble, what is written in the preamble, the introductory paragraph is also given in your book. You can read that paragraph once, and this is also actually the oath which you take on the Constitution Day, which is actually conducted on 26th November every year. Alright, so I'll show you the keywords. Definition is also written in your book. You can go through those definition, like we have used the word like "We the people of India." We the people of India means This constitution is written by we. We have written this constitution. We, the people of India, have written this constitution, because this constituent assembly was elected indirectly by Indian people. We did not elected directly the constituent assembly, but we indirectly elected the constituent assembly which wrote the constitution for us. So ultimately we can say that this constitution is written by us. We have written this constitution. It is not the constitution which is given to us by some king or the ruler. It is the constitution written by us. We have written this constitution. That's why it is written, they have used the word we, the people of India. Then they have used the word like sovereign. Sovereign means supreme power. We are supreme power in our internal and external matter. We are the supreme power and we can take our decision. No other country can take decision on the internal matter of our country or the external matter of our country. And we have used the word like socialist, means anything we are doing for the betterment of the society. Then we have used the word like republic, because our government is again and again elected by the public only. And we have used the word justice, which means that there is no discrimination and we give justice to each and everyone. And we have used the word like liberty, because the freedom was very important for us. We fought for the freedom only. We fought so much with the British for the freedom. So liberty was given in expression, and in many things the liberty was given to us. And then we have used the word like secular. Secular means you don't discriminate on the basis of religion. And then we have used the word like democratic, because we are the government which give political rights to the people, and our government is elected by the public. And then we talk about equality, which means that everyone is equal in this country. In the eyes of law, everybody is equal. Alright. And then we use the word fraternity. It means that we all belongs to the same same family member. We all are family member. We are brothers. Like these feelings we should have. So all these things the preamble of our constitution is talking about. I want you to go through its definition 1, and you can go through the members of the Constituent Assembly. All members are not given, but 4-5 members like Rajendra Prasad, Sarojini Naidu, Bhimrao Ambedkar, like the members which were there in the Constitution Assembly is also given in your book. The preamble is given in your book, so you can give one reading to those things. And I hope you understand this chapter. And that's all for this chapter. I hope you understand. If you understand, do subscribe my channel, MP Social View. Thank you, student. Thank you for watching, and happy learning.